Muy buenas a todos, soy el ex Palou, piloto de IndyCar para Chip Ganassi Racing. Tras haber ganado el campeonato este año he tenido la oportunidad de hacer muchas entrevistas y una de las más especiales para mí ha sido esta junto a Dale Earnhardt Jr. y su co-host Mike Davis. Nos lo hemos pasado tan bien que su empresa divirtieron Media ha decidido traducirla para ver si os gusta a vosotros también y aprendéis un poco más sobre mí. Nos vemos.
Hey everybody, it's Dale Jr. Welcome back to another episode of the Dale Jr. Download with my co-host Mike Davis. We got a great one for you today. IndyCar Series champion Alex Palou is in the studio. We're going to talk about his life. The guy was born in Spain, traveled all over Europe, lived in Japan for a while, now in the U.S. racing Indy cars. He's going to tell us his story right now. Let's get him in the studio and get started. Oh, look at this guy.
What? What?
Happy birthday!
Oh,
it's
man.
a bit late. It's a bit late. Hey guys, where do you want me to?
Here, I'll take it. I'll take
Alright,
it.
you
Yeah,
take it.
that's so
Where's
nice.
your name on it?
It does have my name on it.
Look.
Some,
for you.
oh,
He's bringing in
man.
birthday balloons into the studio right now, which Mike did not do, for the record.
Alex, they were giving me a hard time because I didn't wish Dale a happy birthday, and then you come in with a cake and balloons.
You didn't?
I didn't wish him happy birthday.
So
I'm-
how's your relationship now?
it went south today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
can
kind of
imagine.
See
he's
how
upset.
you do it, Mike?
Yeah, that's how you do it.
This is how you do it.
Can't beat it. That's unbelievable.
That's a good entry, I know, but man, this place is amazing. And you can
Thanks.
see that's a workshop.
Yeah.
Wow. Thanks
Yeah.
for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here.
So excited.
You're in town, just kind of hanging out, checking out. You got to go to the Roval. What else have you experienced besides just the Roval?
I went to my first concert Saturday night.
Who?
Pitbull.
Really?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was really cool, yeah. My first concert in
Your-
the
Ever?
US.
Your
Yeah,
first
ever.
concert, not a
Ever.
Pitbull concert.
No,
It was
no.
your first concert
Ever. My entire life.
That's
Really?
surprising.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Why?
That's me, that's me.
Because of your traveling, you just never really.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I was waiting for a good time to go to a good concert or something. I never had the opportunity. Like I didn't say no, never.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go to a big concert.
When you walk out of there, are you thinking the other concerts you want to go to?
no, yeah. Well, depends on if the opportunity comes.
What's your
yeah.
favorite music?
I listen to everything. Like
Yeah.
I listen to everything. I'm not the big music guy. I listen to a lot of music when I work out, but depending on how I feel, also I
sure.
change. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, Alex, you are from Spain. I have never been to Spain. I went to Monaco for 24 hours. Long story. I went to Germany, thinking about taking my wife to France. But I'm absolutely curious about Spain.
You should take her to Spain before France.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Tell me about Spain and why I should take her there.
Spain is a small country, really small country compared to the US, obviously. People, the life there is really relaxed, like really, really relaxed. We get up quite late. We go to bed quite late. We enjoy food. We work not too much, not like here in the US where everything is work. It's more about a good life. Yeah, it's a relaxed life.
Yeah.
Sold.
Yeah, that's it. Food is really good, I have to say, as friends as well. But I don't know. We are nicer. I
What is a good dish? What is a good dish in Spain?
You should go, depends on where you are. But if you are in Valencia, for example, you should get paella. I think paella is one of the most iconic Spanish dishes. And it's rice with, normally has some seafood. And it's a big dish. It's really nice.
If Dale goes to Spain, takes his wife, would you be his travel agent?
Of
Would
course.
you be able to show him all the
100%.
places to go?
100%. Yeah.
Do you know
let's
any
do it.
good dive bars, like, where he could just go and drink
Yeah.
beer?
Do you know?
Oh,
Do you
yeah,
know any good
yeah.
dive bars?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because that's a good. That's definitely on my list.
I'll be your tour guide.
Yeah.
No problem.
As long as he doesn't want to go to a concert, though, right? Because then you're kind
Well,
of
then,
you're gonna have to ask
I'm
for
not
help.
the guy then. No, I'm not the guy. I'm not the guy for that.
Do you miss Spain? When did you move away from? When did you move from there?
From Spain. So I started racing in Europe. I was still living in Spain.
When you say Europe, where?
All around. Depends. Do I go back to karting or
Go back to karting.
do I go
everywhere?
everything?
Tell
We
us
have
all of
time.
it.
Go back to the
all time.
hospital.
We got all day.
Okay. So I was born. No. I started racing when I was 5.
Why did you start racing? What was the catalyst for that?
So there was. I'm from a small town. I'm not from Barcelona city. I'm from a small town, and on that town there's a small go-karting track where people just do rental laps. It's not an international track. It's just rental and for fun. So I guess just by passing around there every day 2 times, going to school, back to school, I saw these people doing laps. So I got interested, and I told my parents that I wanted to try. I was 4 at that time. We went there. We asked the guys, can we try a go-kart? And they said, yeah, just try and see if the kid can reach the pedals. I didn't reach the pedals. I was sad. But then my family decided to buy me a really small and used go-kart for my 5th birthday, and we started there. My dad was really young at that time, my mom too. I think they were like 23.
Wow.
Yeah. They got me really young. Yeah.
What was your dad and mom's profession?
My mom was just, now she owns a family business, but at that time I think she was working on a normal shop in town, selling shoes and stuff. And my dad was working like in a phone company.
Okay.
But just a normal worker,
Yeah.
They had no idea about racing. They didn't have much money. I think it was more my grandfathers that they were supporting that. Because at that time I think we were living at my grandfather's house. Like we didn't even have a house or anything.
And so nobody in your family had any racing history, your grandparents or no one.
No.
And this all came right from your own interests. And so you started racing go-karts in Europe. How's that going? You ran for quite a while.
Yeah, I did. I did go-karting since I think my first race was when I was 6 or 7. I couldn't race before. We were just doing laps during the weekends, and that was just for fun. It was not like, oh, I want to be a race car driver. I wanted to be, but it was not the goal. Like that was something. It was there, but yeah, it was impossible to get. So we were having fun. We started doing some races around Spain, just moving around Spain, which was already great. And then I went international racing, I think when I was 10, 11. Went to Italy, which that was huge for me.
How did you get these opportunities?
So when I started, it was people from that go-kart track when I first started that they had a small team and they could support me.
So you're doing so well locally.
Yeah.
That the people that are involved in karting are seeing you and seeing potential and wanting to give you more opportunities. So that sent you to Europe.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So they had like just a small, but at that time we couldn't afford anything. Normally in go-karts, you can either go fully with a team when you get the mechanic, you get the engine, you get the chassis, you get everything full support, or you can do it yourself, or you can do it half-half when they say, okay, we'll put you a chassis, but you have to take the engine somewhere and the mechanic. So my dad was the mechanic until I think I was 12 or 13. Like we won Spanish championships together, which that's pretty huge. I mean, I know it's a small country, but it's my dad. Like he didn't know anything. He was doing at sometimes my engines and everything at home. Like that's, he built this engine.
A dyno?
Yeah, a dyno. At home.
At home.
At home. Yeah, my mom was not really happy about that.
How about the neighbors? They're probably not too happy either.
We live in a small town in the mountains. So, we don't have neighbors around.
Sounds amazing. Sounds beautiful.
And then, we just got opportunities from different people, to be honest. Like, there's not one guy that started everything. It was always somebody, some small company or some small team that would give me the opportunity to go one more step.
Do you recognize in any of the names that you raced against in go-karts, do you recognize any of those names today? Or any of those?
Sure.
Who?
Verstappen, Leclerc, they're almost all of them in F1. Sainz was my teammate.
Really?
Lots. I think like 7 or 8 drivers are now in F1.
Wow.
That you raced with you when you were in karts. Holy moly. And so how did you do? I mean, how did you do against not only that competition, but everyone else you're racing?
Really good. So I think when I was 13 or 12, I got a factory deal with CRG, which that was like huge for me. That was like, oh my God, I made it. Like I'm a professional now. Like, okay, Dad, we made it, right? So I was super happy that there. We did 2 years with them. we won some championships, good championships, races, and I was still not on the highest level of the highest category because I was not the age. So then that year, when I was 14 or 15, I started doing go-karts, and then suddenly I got a call from Adrian Campos, used to be a former F1 driver, long time ago, and he wanted me to test an F3 car that he had. And I was like, what, an F3 car?
How do you know this guy?
What do you mean?
How do you know him? How did he call
I
you?
didn't. Well, he texted me on WhatsApp. He
Oh, wow.
texted me. I was in maths at school, and he said, hey, do you want to try my F3? And I was
Just you.
yeah.
Yeah.
He just texted me like that. That year I won the Spanish championship,
Okay.
and I got like 30,000 euros bonus to try and make it to single seater. So I guess he said, okay, let's.
Hey, all
And
right.
how old are you at this point?
15,
Okay, so back up for a second. Do you have brothers or sisters?
one sister. She's 12.
She's 12 at the time, so she's younger than you.
No, she's 12 now. So I'm
she's 12
24.
now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm just wrapping my head around all this. All
I
right, so
know.
like, all right, so you had a way younger sister. How old are you?
Yeah. 24 now.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So did your parents like you? Obviously, you're winning everything, right? I mean, like you're
Well,
taking.
not everything, but
Well, but you're a Spanish champion now all of a sudden, and you're getting texts from the F1 guy. I mean, you can't suck, right?
Yeah,
So I
not
guess
at
my
all.
question here's what I was wondering: did your parents continue to do their jobs?
yeah.
Your dad is your mechanic. Like life had to
Well,
start
there's
changing,
one
right?
point where my dad cannot go to all the races because suddenly CRG, when they get me the deal, it's like, hey, you
Right.
gotta do this amount of races, and I'm like, well, my dad cannot.
He can't do
like,
that.
He can't do that. So then it's my uncle
Okay.
starting doing that. That was maybe 1 year before CRG, and then once you are in CRG, the factory team, let's say, they give you everything, and that's it. You don't have to worry about anything. else.
Was that hard on him? I mean, because I would imagine
No,
you he was cool.
Oh yeah.
He was cool.
Obviously,
You-
yeah.
you-
He could still come to races, but
Right.
he didn't have to.
I got
work
to ask
for
you.
it.
So your 12-year-old sister, how often do you get to see her?
Not much now,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Now.
So what's that relationship like? I mean, because not only the massive age difference, right? But just being away from home, and how is she understanding, what her brother does?
I guess it's hard. I know she grew up like that, right? So she doesn't know anything different. So for me, it's hard just because it's my little sister, right? And we had an amazing relationship always. But I don't see her too much. And it's not only now that I'm here in America, when I was in Japan, where we will go then. But yeah, it's not easy, but yeah, I try my best.
How often do you get back to see them?
I didn't go back to Spain since January, so yeah.
Okay. So how
She
many,
was here for the Indy 500 this year. That was the only week I saw,
that
which
had
was a
been-
good week.
That
Yeah,
had to have been pretty amazing.
Yeah.
To have them.
yeah. And when I won the championship this year, IndyCar told me, "Hey, we want to give you a wish. What do you want?" And I said, "I need a video from an actor that they got at Laguna Seca from Outer Banks, which is a series
Yeah.
that my sister loves."
Oh, yeah.
And I said, "I need a video from this guy saying hello to
In
my
the show,
sister,
yeah.
please."
Oh wow.
So I got it this week, and I was like the happiest person ever. Me,
Yeah.
for my sister.
That's
That's
amazing.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. We watch. Amy watches that show a little bit. Outer Banks.
Yeah.
Outer
Filmed in
Banks.
Charleston. Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
And so you have one. They say you got one wish, almost like they're a genie in the bottle.
Exactly.
And you get them to do the video for your sister.
Of course.
That's amazing.
That was like the
good
best
brother.
thing ever, man.
You are a good brother. That's
I-
right.
I try.
When do you think you'll go back to visit?
I think maybe November. Yeah, I
So
think
it's coming
November.
up.
Yeah,
How long will you stay?
2 to 3 weeks.
How do you think that you'll be received by your countrymen?
I think it's gonna be amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be really good. Yeah.
We don't really have this in the U.S. where there's like this, the country's proud of you because, majority of the drivers in the NASCAR circuit are from here. But there's a lot of pride in country and a lot of people over there in Spain that are proud of you. And so when you have success and you go back, what does that feel like?
I guess so. I don't know yet, but
Oh.
but yeah. To be honest, they did the media there. They were not doing a good job on following IndyCar at the beginning of the season. But once we won, to be honest, they did a really good job.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of following now there, and guess it's going to be amazing.
There's got to be there's got to be a parade. You know what they ought to do? They ought to do a running of the bulls in your honor.
I would do it. Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
Oh my God!
Because they celebrate way over the top. I'm
Wide
assuming.
open,
They got to be. You run with the bulls, you got to be crazy, right? So, and I'm not. I don't know. Do you even? Is this a cliche? Do we think about Spain and running the bulls, or is this something that y'all don't even think about or talk about in your time?
Now it's forbidden in lots of cities in Spain.
Yeah.
So
it is?
it's still going.
Dang, so we're not going to be able to
So
do
wait,
that.
Yeah.
so when you say it's forbidden in lots of cities, did that happen in multiple places at once throughout a year?
I think
Or
so.
in-
Yeah, I
whenever-
think so. Like Barcelona, it's
I thought-
forbidden. Like you
well,
cannot do it anymore.
I guess my mind was thinking that it happened only in one part of the country at one day. Like this running the bulls.
Well,
is
there's
here.
two things. There's the running in front of the bulls in a street, and that's only one day. And there's just lots of people that starts
That's in
running
one
and
part
like,
of the country, right?
Yes,
One city.
Yes, and there's
Where
like
is that at?
That's in I don't know.
Pamplona.
Yeah, Pamplona. You
There
got
you
it.
go.
Yeah,
All right.
sorry about that.
Look at Mike. Look at
Yeah,
hey,
he's
My
that's
cousin
why
did
he's
it.
here. That's
He's
why
on
he's
it.
at the
My
table.
cousin did running of the
Moments
bulls.
Like that.
What?
Did he?
What?
My cousin did. From Alabama.
Oh,
You know, I
wow.
mean, you know what are we going to do?
That explains
Wait.
it.
What are we going to do?
Uh-oh.
They're from Birmingham.
So I have one second. Can I cut?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got you a present, right?
Okay.
But I couldn't forget about him
course
because
not.
I watched the show. Yeah. Well, don't wait. Don't get too excited yet. So I know that you.
This is great.
I don't really know a lot about America. Like I'm getting into America. I'm loving it. It's like one thing I wanted to do. It was one dream for me to live here. But I understand that you're a big Alabama fan.
Okay.
And it was not a great day.
No.
Okay.
They lost.
They lost. And that's not good.
It happens.
It
though.
happens. Okay. So for you to be okay, I got some tissues. That's for when you're here.
I needed this. Yeah. This
And then
Kleenex. Oh,
and
so
then there's some, if you're on the way, there's some Kleenex too.
man.
Oh my God,
Perfect.
that's great.
You know what? I accept this gift. It would have been handy Saturday night when they lost, but you know what? I appreciate it. Listen, you don't get gifts anymore.
So Alex has brought Mike a box of Kleenex.
That's right.
So when he's at the studio, and then some portable Kleenex for when
Yeah,
he's moving
when
around.
he's moving around.
Right.
Yeah.
And
you
I
never
love
know
this.
when he's gonna.
You never know when
choose-
Alabama might
Exactly.
lose.
You never know when you have to just break down into a cry. Right?
Exactly,
I mean,
so that's why.
Now I'm prepared.
Yeah.
You're prepared when Alabama
You're ready.
loses.
right. I never was before.
Ah, this is awesome.
All right. Well,
Oh,
thank
man.
you for the gift.
Yeah. My
Um,
pleasure.
How in the world did we go from running of the bulls to Kleenex? I have no idea.
Because you said Alabama, and
Yeah.
then I was like, hey,
It
I
triggered.
have a present.
No, wait a second. I mean, you won there this year, didn't you? Didn't you win
Yeah,
at
I
Alabama?
did.
Like you might as well be in Alabama now. I mean, we take you in.
I know. Yeah,
You
I
won it-
know. And I'm in, but I mean, you're more.
No,
like,
what I'm saying is, I need to get you an Alabama Crimson Tide T-shirt, hat. You'd wear it, probably a tank top.
You
You
don't
do
have,
tank tops.
You don't have it here? I thought it was ready for me.
I wasn't prepared.
Come
Forgot
on,
Dale's
man.
birthday too.
Let me work on it.
Okay, that's
Let me
good.
work on it. The next time you come here, because there'll be a next time, right?
I'm
There
waiting
will
for
be.
it.
There will
Okay.
be. Right. Dude, but listen, you love fried chicken.
Yeah.
You might as well have been born in Birmingham, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Maybe. I don't know. I'll
Right.
ask my
Yeah.
mom. Maybe
Yeah.
she was doing some trips there.
I love it. Well, thank you for the gift.
My pleasure. All right. So, yeah, the bulls. There's
Yeah.
that thing about running in front of the bulls. And then there's one, it was like a sport, or I didn't really know.
Oh, okay.
Where
Bullfighting.
The bullfighting.
Yeah.
Where
So
you
that's-
would kill the
oh,
bull. And
that's gone.
That's
Yeah.
gone. It still happens somewhere, I think. Maybe just
That's
really
terrifying.
limited, which I don't
Yeah.
like. And the thing about running in front of the bulls, that's just for crazy people like your brother. Yeah.
My cousin.
Oh, your
Yeah.
cousin.
Yeah,
Okay.
my cousin. They made it.
So
They
you
got
would
through it.
you will never go run.
I
in
mean,
front
if
of
you
the
go,
bulls.
I go.
If I went, you'd
Yeah.
go.
That
Oh
could
my
be
gosh.
something that you and your wife go through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do a go-kart in front of it. You know, make it all about Alex.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, Alex. If I go to Spain and you're there, we're gonna run.
You're running.
God, I feel like I really.
That,
I'm gonna
that
do
was
this.
that was what my cousin said was the funniest part. They were like the dumb Americans over there doing their stretches before the
Yeah.
actual race. Whereas nobody, they're
people
drinking.
were drinking, right?
They're
Yeah.
drinking.
They are drinking.
They're not doing stretches.
We're gonna have to drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would do the drinking.
So you end up in Japan.
Yeah.
All right. Well, go back to the phone call about the F3 car.
Yeah. So
so help me understand. So there's a lot of people listening don't know what an F3 car is.
Okay.
Tell us what an F3 car is.
I'll say the story. So I win the go-karting Spanish championship, where the bonus is 30,000 euros.
Yeah.
Okay, which that's huge, but that's only to test in Formula cars, in single seaters. Okay. So yeah, with my family, we have no money. We are good with the factory team in go-karts. We're good there, and it's like we're not gonna use this. Like, I mean, we've done. With 30,000 euros or dollars, you can do, I don't know, 5 tests in a car or a single seater in Europe. So it's nothing. All right. So I get this call from Campos, and he says, "Hey, you want to try this car?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's try. Right? I have $30,000. Why not?" So I go there. An F3 car. It's just like let's say. It's a small Formula One, like really small.
Right.
I don't know how to say it. If Formula One has 900 horsepower, that has like 250, which is already high downforce car, and it's a fast car. So I went there, I tested 2 or 3 days for him, and then suddenly he gave me a contract.
Wow. So what's the contract? What is
to do 1 year in F3 for him.
How many races?
I think that's like 10 weekends, 20 races.
What did it pay? Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
But that's huge.
That's fine.
You don't have to
of
pay.
Course. Yeah.
I think nowadays in Europe, there's...
Are you living in Europe?
Yes.
In an apartment?
At my house
You
with
had a
my
home.
parents.
Oh, they lived in Europe.
Well,
Yeah.
Spain is in Europe.
I guess I'm thinking he moved to like France or somewhere.
No.
So you're traveling
I'm traveling.
all these races.
Of course.
What's the lot? It's a long way.
Well, it's longer if you're in the US and you have to travel to different states. So
Alright.
Europe,
Yeah.
it's small.
That's a good
compared
analogy.
to.
Okay.
So I mean, for you, you say,
So you were
let's
able
travel to
at
Texas.
up to this point, when you get the F3 contract, you're still at home.
Yeah.
Okay. And so when you get that contract, you go and travel to all these races, the 10 races. In
Yeah.
between all that, are you still racing your go-kart?
I'm still no. Maybe for training from time to time, but no.
The F3 was it.
Yeah,
And
and
how
I'm
does-
studying a bit, trying.
Studying still.
Yeah,
Still in school.
but it didn't
Didn't
work.
go well.
No, at the end of that year, it was like over.
That's what most people say with these racers that we interviewed. This schooling never really ended up panning out, did it?
But no, but you need to keep trying. Like I was trying, and I thought I was giving my best, but yeah, my best I was giving to racing, and then I was still studying. Yeah.
How'd the F3 deal go?
It was good. We finished third in the championship. We won a couple of races, which that was really big. I won my first race.
What racetracks are you going to?
The first one was Nürburgring. Yeah, I don't know.
The
Barcelona.
long one?
No.
No.
This is the
Sorry.
short one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the long one. On
Yeah.
an F3,
Have
they
you ever
were-
raced there?
I did 2 or 3 laps with my dad on a rental car there.
Yeah. Was it
Yeah.
terrifying?
It's terrifying. Yeah, because you're driving there in the rental car, you don't really know the track exactly, and there's these
Other
cars
cars.
flying
Yes.
by. But people that are there every day, so they are with the Porsche GT3 cars,
Yeah.
but race cars.
Yeah. It's open to the public every day, and there's guys racing around there in full.
But you can
full-blown
go
race
with your
cars.
motorhome if you want. They
Yes.
allow you in. But
You can
that's
drive anything.
insane. You can drive anything.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
sit on YouTube and just watch the crashes.
The crashes. Yeah,
They're insane.
It's
No,
insane.
it's insane.
It's insane.
How big is the short course? I don't
The
actually
short
know.
course, I don't know. It's maybe 5K,
Yeah.
which is just
Okay.
a normal course. Let's
Okay.
say a bit smaller than Road America.
Are these companion races with F1, or what
No.
else is happening on the weekends that F3's there?
When it's F3, there's also a championship with GT3 cars, and I think that's it.
Yeah.
Just small series.
So what happens next?
Next, I get 2-year contract with Campos as well for GP3, which GP3 goes together with Formula One every weekend. That's like a bigger car. It's like
power.
400 horsepower,
Yeah.
so it's like double the car, and that's like a bigger series. So after GP3, there's GP2 at that time, which now is F2, and then F1. That's it.
So you're heading that direction. Are you just at this point in your mind? How old are you?
Now,
No, at this
Then-
after F3,
16.
you're 16. You're 16.
16 or 17, yeah.
Are you in your mind like aiming at F1?
No.
Or, no?
Everybody around me is like,
Why not?
because I know that's not the place I can achieve with myself, like with my hands. Like I knew I needed a big team, a bigger company around me to try and get to F1. To try and get to F1, you need to have the best cars in F2, in F3, in GP2, GP3. You need to win everything, and you need to have a big company around you to pay for it.
So you didn't have the ingredients in your mind to travel that path. So
No.
where is your brain? What are you thinking? Like,
So I tried to contact with some Indy Lights team.
so you're thinking IndyCar.
Yes.
You're in Europe.
Because I
living in
know
Spain.
IndyCar, there's opportunities. I know first of all, the championship is huge, but then I know that there's opportunities.
Are there other people in Europe racing an open wheel also absolutely thinking IndyCar over F1? Because
I don't think so.
You would
like all
imagine.
my teammates I had, you can ask my whole teammates, and I was saying, no, I want to go to IndyCar. Like, and they know.
Okay, so specifically, what opportunities? Is there more teams? Is there more seats? Is it less expensive? I mean, when you say there's more opportunities, what do you mean?
Less expensive, more teams, and then if you do a good job on a normal car, the biggest car, the biggest team, they give you an opportunity. They see you and they say, okay, Alex, here's a car to win. And that doesn't happen in Europe. Even if you win, it's like you can be with this car and fight for P15.
Yeah.
I like to win. I think everybody likes to win. But in Europe, it's if you look at the results on F2, F3, you're going to see the same team, P2, P3, P4, P5. So it's like you don't see a different...
The car
yeah.
seems to dictate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's every year. Like
That seems to be like that would be absolutely frustrating as a driver.
It is.
To know that your car can only run fifth. You know,
That's
unless
it.
there's some attrition, you're not going to run better than this.
Yeah.
Right? Where in IndyCar, and as I saw this year, I mean, you look at the running order of any race, and everybody's all over the place.
It's all over
Anyone
the place.
could win.
Yeah, we had like 9 winners.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
The
it's-
parity was insane.
It is.
And why is that? Are the cars that equal across the field?
It's the same car.
Everyone has the
so
same car.
They all buy the same parts. And we only can develop nowadays, I think, some parts like pedals and
Right.
stuff
Nothing
that
speed.
doesn't, nothing speed. Dampers, that's the only thing that we can develop 100% of it. And that's it.
That's interesting.
And stickers.
Yeah.
Stickers.
That's it.
You end up in Japan.
End up in Japan
How did
because
that
I
happen?
had no more opportunities in Europe. So I did 2 years in GP3 with F1. Really bad years. Really bad.
Why?
To be honest, I was not comfortable with the car. I didn't have enough practice. There's just like 40 minutes of practice and go, qualifying, boom, for a junior series. It was, at that time, my second year in cars. Like, I was coming from Go-Karts. It's like, I need driving. I didn't have good results. I think I won 2 races, did 3 podiums in 2 years, but I finished it, I think, P10 and P15. So, yeah.
Very frustrating.
Yeah.
So you're calling around.
I'm calling around. Nobody's answering. It's February, I think. I have no seat, and I'm like, man, that racing is over. Let's go back to go-karting. Like, that's still good for me. Like, at that time, I was not the guy thinking F1, I'm going to be F1 World Championship and F1 World Champion, and I'm going to eat the world. I'm like, well, I have an opportunity to drive racing cars, which is amazing, but my thing is go-karts. But then suddenly I get a call from Japan to go back to F3. It's a smaller car to what I was used to.
Yeah.
With a new team, one car team, and I said, yeah, let's go.
So it's F3, but in Japan.
Yes.
Is the owner of the car and the mechanics on the car, the people working on this car, Japanese?
Yeah.
So
only 2 people from the team speaking a bit of English.
Right. Fortunately for me, I had a chance to go over to Japan in the late 90s. Incredible experience. Hope to one day go back. How was the change in the culture? Do you go to Japan? Do you move to Japan?
Not on the. I did 2 years. So on the first year, I didn't move just because it was 8 or 9 weekends. So
Okay.
I didn't
flying
have.
back and forth.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, and it was too much for me. Like I needed.
The traveling
to
was too much.
No, I mean living there was too much.
So you
yeah.
did live there.
No,
No, he
the
just
first-
assumed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're assuming like that. I'm not ready to make that jump
Exactly.
yet.
I'm not
okay.
ready to live there. I prefer to be dead with the jet lag and stuff and still live at home. But
That's real. That's
yeah.
real.
So yeah, I started racing F3 for them. They didn't really speak English, but that was fine. I was still doing what I wanted to do, drive cars. And we were doing great. We finished third in the championship, which was great. And that's it. And
Are the other drivers, majority of them Japanese drivers?
all of them except there was one American driver. He was half Asian, half American,
Yeah.
but he had an American flag. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. And me, Spanish.
Yeah. So how was it getting along with the culture there?
It was hard, but at the same time, they are so welcoming. Even if you don't speak or you don't understand or you're not the same way, they try to make you feel comfortable and they do everything for you.
Yeah.
Like even people at the street, not people from racing, like they try to help you. Like I remember someday I was in Japan in a station. There was no, come on,
Sorry.
Dale,
Sorry.
I'm talking.
I'm sorry. Knocked it over.
Where's mine?
You really don't want to drink this.
Yeah,
It's
of
room
course.
temperature.
I know. Oh yeah, not room temperature. So I was at the station.
Would you like a water?
No, I'm good.
For
Thank
real?
you.
Okay.
So I was at the station. It was fully busy of like 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. Japanese going to work. And I was with like 2 or 3 bags and there was no electric stairs or automatic stairs. I don't know how
Yeah,
you call it.
the escalator.
So
Yeah.
people were helping me to bring.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Which I wouldn't in Spain. And I think I wouldn't here in the U.S.
No, we're not helping anybody up the stairs.
But they
right?
were. And I was just in there.
Well, that's kind of cool.
How about the cuisine? What do you think about?
Depends. There's really, really good stuff, and then when you go really deep into Japan, man, one time they told me, "Oh, you like sushi?" I was like, "Yeah, I love sushi. That's my favorite food. Like sushi is my thing. I'm sushi." So they bring me to a traditional Japanese restaurant. They give me some sushi I like, and then they said, "This is the special Japanese sushi." So they take a shrimp that is alive.
Okay.
From the water. They cut it in front of me. The shrimp is moving. They peel it. They take a piece of rice. They put the shrimp, which is still moving. And they said, that's for you.
It's still moving.
It's still moving.
Oh no.
It's still moving.
Yeah.
And I ate it.
You did eat it.
Yeah, of
How
course.
was it? Probably good.
I just swallow it. Yeah, I didn't really.
Didn't dare chew it.
I didn't, yeah.
It sort of reminds me of that time we were at that restaurant in South Korea, and with Tariko, that they had the soup came out with the fish head in it.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Remember
they
that?
have some stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man.
We're like, okay, it's not chicken noodle.
We were in South Korea for the Olympics, and we're gonna go eat, and it's really traditional. They're sitting down on the floor, and one of our friends was pregnant, and I said she hadn't come into the restaurant yet, and I said to my buddy, I said we might want to move to a table. She probably won't be comfortable sitting down on the floor, and we're getting ready to move, and there's a family of eating next to us, and they're having a blast, and somebody said something funny, and this guy had a mouthful of rice, and he exploded laughing, and the rice goes all over me.
No way. No.
And I turned and looked, and they're just sitting there going, the guy felt bad, but they're just then they all start laughing. And I'm like, yeah, it's pretty funny.
I laughed too.
It was so bad.
His night was over. I could tell his face. He was done.
over.
There was nothing that was going to happen that night to get it turned around either.
I checked out.
He was done. That was before the soup came with the fish heads in it and everything. But yeah, all that to say, they do it. They go all the way over there.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. So the sushi, it's live. It's but you do it. You're like a champ. You go in there. You do it.
Yeah.
The people are nice. What is the racing culture like?
It's amazing. Fans are insane. When I mean
Yes.
insane is that even with small championships, it's full of people.
Wow.
Like full of people. And I guess because I was from overseas, obviously, and they are not used to, they were following me everywhere. Like, it was crazy. Like, I had to take somebody with me when I wanted to go to the restroom before the race, because otherwise I would get there and I couldn't exit, you know, like people would start taking pictures and asking for autographs. That's amazing. I needed somebody. So it was crazy. It was insane.
Yeah. They are, when we went in the late 90s, I was really taken aback on just how interested they were. And our racing was they couldn't have known who all the drivers were, but they were just as eager to take a picture with my dad as anyone else, right? And their interest and curiosity was pretty impressive.
It is.
Yeah. So you're enjoying that, I imagine, you know?
Yeah,
'cause
I'm loving it.
They think this is amazing. You're doing great. You're having fun. So how do you leave there?
So then I did another year where I had a house there. I was living in Japan.
How was that?
It was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had some really good times. Some times where I was just alone. And
You had the house by yourself?
Yeah.
No roommate?
No.
So
no roommate.
what's in the house? You got a sim rig? You racing online? What are you
No,
doing?
I didn't have a sim rig. So it had like 2 floors, and I had my living room with my PlayStation because I had lots of free time.
Right.
My table to try and prepare my reports and my races, and then I had just 2 bedrooms upstairs. So it was a big house for being in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you develop friendships? Have friends over?
No.
None?
Never.
So you really were alone?
Yeah.
Not even with the racers, the people you raced against?
No, because they were Japanese,
So
like really Japanese.
You just couldn't really connect with any of them.
No.
What city?
So I was living in Gotemba, where all the teams are at. It's like for Indianapolis, like living in around the shop, and people were living in Tokyo. Some people that I knew from Europe. There was 2 or 3 racers from another category from Europe living there, but they were in Tokyo, and that was like 40, 50 minutes from where I was. I didn't want to live in Tokyo just because...
The busyness? How busy it was? Or?
No, just because I was there to race, right? And I wanted to learn from the team and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I knew that there was going to be 1 year where I could go to Tokyo and just, enjoy.
Did your family come visit you?
Yeah.
Stay with you?
They did stay, no, but visit, yeah.
Spend
they
the night?
Two or 3 races.
Use the spare bedroom?
They did.
Good. So
Yeah.
what were those trips like? Where you're kind of showing them around Japan?
That was the best thing.
They'd never been, right?
No, they never been, and that was the best thing. I could bring them to like traditional Japanese places where it looks super bad on the outside, on the inside as well. You sit on the floor, and they were like, "Oh my God, where did you bring us, Alex?" And I was like, "Just wait, relax, and enjoy." And it's amazing. The food and the quality, it's really good. So yeah, my dad loves the Japanese beer because it's always cold and ice.
Yes.
There's ice.
Yeah.
It's amazing how they treat everywhere you go, the beer, it's ice cold everywhere.
That's the way I
so
like it.
He would enjoy that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. All right. So what gets you out of Japan?
So I was driving for Team Go in Super GT, in a GT car as well.
What is that? What's that car look like?
That's like a GT3. It was a McLaren GT3 car. So I was doing, when I was there, I was
It's got
doing
fenders on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how was that? Was that the first time you raced a...
With a roof. Yeah. That was nice. Yeah. Just the same thing, but
Okay.
yeah, less. It was just I was doing Super Formula at that time and GT, so I was doing 2 championships, and that was just fun. So that Team Go had a previous relationship with Dale Earnhardt here in IndyCar, I think like 20 years ago, 15 years ago, and I was a Honda driver there. So I was like telling everybody I met, I was telling, I'm super happy in Japan. Thank you for everything you do for me, but I want to go to IndyCar in the US. So they made it happen.
How?
I guess they called Dale and said, "Hey, we got a driver. Do you want to test it?" And he said, "Yeah, let's test it." So I tested in 2019 to Mid Ohio one day, and it was amazing.
Is that your first time in the States?
No, I did 1 race before.
Where? When?
COTA, 2018.
Your first time to the United States was COTA?
Austin.
Mm.
So, what was that like? Texas accents and all that.
So I was there only for 3 days, but I think it was my best 3 days of my life until that point.
Yeah.
I was there with my girlfriend, which is here. And we said one day we'll live here. Even if we're racing, we're not racing, we don't care. Like, we're going to live here.
You want to live here?
Yeah, in Austin.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It's amazing.
It's
Yeah.
amazing, yeah. So last year I was living in Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I was
right.
driving for Dale, but I was living in Austin. Not
that-
anymore, but
Where is his team located?
Chicago. But
Okay.
he was like, you don't need to be here.
Live where you want.
Yeah. So I said, okay, let's do it.
So you moved to Austin.
yeah, I did.
And
1 year.
Where
was
did you meet
amazing.
your girlfriend? She's in here right now.
Yeah, she's in here
and
right now.
Tell us about her, because she matters in this too. If she's
Yeah,
she's
of
going to
course.
Austin, I mean, where did you meet her?
I met her in campus and that team when I was driving for that team on my second year. And she was working for that team on media. And yeah, we met
Okay.
there and then we got on travel. So
Right
yeah,
on.
Been 6 years. 6 years together. Yeah.
That's awesome.
6 years.
Yeah.
So she's moved around with you? Since?
Not to Japan.
Yeah, she didn't do
said,
that.
"Meh,
Well,
Japan is not.
so-
no, she was working.
So your relationship made it through a long distance
yeah.
year of you being in Japan.
Yeah.
All right. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
You get the opportunity to come test for Dale at Mid-Ohio. Where did you say?
Mid-Ohio.
Mid-Ohio.
Yeah.
How's that go?
Really good. It
Yeah.
was only 2 cars, so it was like a private test the day after the race.
Just you.
Just me and I
Another.
think there was another car.
Yeah.
Nasser was testing there with
After the race.
yes, the
Okay.
Monday after the race,
Yeah.
and it was really good. Yeah, we were fast and yeah.
That's kind of cool because then they have the they've got the race and the race weekend times. The track's pretty much run in, got race rubber down. You're getting a really good baseline off of what
Yeah.
they did this past weekend. And so they
can compare a bit.
Yep.
Yeah, they
You
can
re-
get an idea.
you impressed them.
I don't know, but yeah, it was good. We were fast. Yeah, we were really fast.
So do you get a deal right away or?
No, because at that time they had still 2 drivers under contract, but it was until I think January the next year. Which
So after
was
that
last year.
test, where do you go?
I
Back
went
to
to
Japan?
Japan and I was like super happy, smiling. I fought for that championship. We finished 3rd again, which is like, come on, again 3rd. But yeah, then I was waiting to go to Japan again. Like that was my thing, right?
You were going to stay in Japan if the deal didn't work out.
The idea with that test was to let the people know that I was interested and that I was fast or not fast.
Right.
And to know if I liked IndyCar or not. Maybe I was there and I didn't like how this car was handling or I was slow.
Yeah.
You never know.
Okay, so there wasn't any of these high expectations with this test. Like you weren't
No.
anticipating a phone call with a ride.
No,
you
no.
just wanted to say, do you like it? Hey, this is somebody that's it may be interested in it, and so just almost like a get to know you.
Exactly.
I have one question about
Yeah.
that. So you've driven everything that you've drove up to this point has either been an F3, a European style race car, go-kart, and all that. So when you got in the IndyCar, was there any difference, any noticeable difference?
So in Japan, I was doing Super Formula, which is a smaller IndyCar. It's really close,
Yeah.
but it has power steering. So IndyCar doesn't have power steering, and I was like, oh my god, this like
hard.
it's hard. Like when I remember when I did like 10 laps, I was like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna like make it. You know,
Yeah.
It's you have a full day of testing, and I was like, man, this is hard. But I think the IndyCar, the way the car is built, allows the driver to drive it however you want. You can drive it bad if you want. Like you can say, hey, I want you to turn here, and you can fight with the car. There are some cars where you need to treat them like super smooth, but the IndyCar is the opposite. So
Yeah.
that was super nice.
I would say that when we raced in NASCAR before, so we had a car called the COT and the car tomorrow that everybody pretty much disliked, and that's the way that car drove. The cars that we had before, you could drive them many ways through the corner, and you could overdrive it, you could manhandle it and get it around the corner multiple ways. The COT was going through the corner one way. There was no other way to drive it. If you drove a car length too deep, it wasn't going to be good. And that was very frustrating.
So that's how the European cars are built. So
Yeah.
there's only one line. You drive it this way and be careful because as soon as you move the steering the other way, you're done.
Right.
But then I came here and I could fight with it. I could just go sideways and I was fast. And I was like, oh man, this is amazing. So I enjoyed it a lot, the way you drive the IndyCar.
Well,
and I think everybody does.
Help me understand what makes a car so forgiving like that. Like what you're saying about the way it's built.
I think it's the weight of the car.
Okay.
The weight of the car, it makes the car moved a lot. So it moves a lot by itself. Even if you want to make the corner like without moving the steering, it's gonna move, and you're gonna have to fight with it. So if everybody's already fighting with the steering and with the car during the corner, if you fight a bit too much, it's fine. Like it doesn't. I guess it's because of that.
So how do you get the call that you got a deal in the U.S.?
I think it was January or something like that.
Late.
Yeah, it was late again. Yeah, I was ready to sign the Japanese contract, but it was like, wait, because we might have a seat. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So I was just waiting.
So you get a call and you got a deal.
I got a deal.
You're going to move to Austin.
I'm going to move to Austin. Yeah.
I wish I could have, I wish that, you know, I've had a hell of a life. I've loved it, but I've never had that freedom, right? To just move wherever life takes me. Right. You know, I'm very jealous and envious.
I'm jealous of you. So
to experience Spain, to live in Japan, to have the.
Yeah, I'm really lucky to be able to move around and also learn a lot. Like not only professionally and race car side, but
where do you
personally.
live now?
Now we live in Indy. Yeah,
why? And you moved just to be closer to the team.
Yeah,
be a little more
because they work every day there. The shop is open. I want to be there.
Yeah.
I like to be there. I
like
like
to
see cars.
But back up a second here.
Yeah.
All right, this is a dumb question, but I want to ask because I don't know. Do you have an agent back when you're in Japan?
Yes.
All right, so you do work with an agent. Your agent comes to you, says, "Hey, this seat with Dale Coyne is opening up." I mean, this is the dream you said you had set yourself up for here.
Yeah.
Are you emotional about this? I don't even know. Are you an emotional guy? Like, is this something that you get caught up in the moment?
I had so many hits from like getting ready or getting excited for something and then nothing happening. So I was like
let down.
Yeah.
So
I was like,
excited.
until I don't see the thing, don't even tell me that there's something happening. So I'm that way.
When you get a call to that you got a deal, are you? When do you go physically sign this paper? Is this stuff sent electronically?
It's electronically.
So when you did that make you emotional?
I've signed it, but Dale didn't sign it. So I was like, okay, it's not done yet. It's not done. I need to. Well, they send it to you first, and I sign it. And I was like, I'm not gonna think that I'm an IndyCar driver yet. But then I saw the email. I was like, when you're checking the email every time, I was like, hey, I got the contract, and I was like, yes. So I remember I celebrated with my family, obviously, but then I had to work a bit because I was going to oval racing, which that was something I've never done or never saw. Or I had no idea how to do that stuff. And
how did you figure it out? How'd you learn?
Man, so the thing is that COVID hit. We had less practice. We had no testing. I had only 1 day of testing with the car before the first race. And you know where was the first race? Texas.
Oh
only one practice, 45 minutes.
Holy smokes.
First race in my IndyCar career there. Now I went out on qualifying and I was panicking. I was shaking, man.
Sure.
Of course.
It's so fast, right?
It's fast and it's not an easy course. I think if you go to Iowa, it's more of it's more forgiving, but and I remember Sato was like 2 cars in front of me, and he just crashed in turn 1, and I saw the car crashing, I heard it, and I was like, oh no, man! I thought qualifying was easy. It was not nice.
How did it go?
There was one guy that crashed in front of me and just collected me.
Yeah.
So.
In the race.
But I forget about this. I mean, like you've accomplished so much so quickly that I forget you were just a rookie last year in COVID.
Yeah, we're literally. I mean, like we're almost caught up.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing, to be honest with you. And
fast.
So how did this rookie season then go? Because all right, you get the first race. When did things start to make a little sense to you?
None
in the first year.
Yeah, because I didn't know any track, only Mid Ohio. That's
I know.
it.
So I wrote down on my notes here simulators. So I mean, imagine you got a chance to get in a manufacturer simulator of some kind, or do
Yeah.
some work on during the week. So where did I know you probably tried a lot of things, but what was the most valuable? What helped you the most to be able to get used to these racetracks or figure them out?
Yeah, I mean, simulator, we use a lot the HPD simulator, which is in Indy. But you cannot be there every day and try every track. Like, you can't, because there's not enough days. So at home, I do everything I can at home.
Yeah.
Watch onboards. I think, to learn a new track, iRacing, it's amazing, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Cool. We should do it.
What's your setup like? Do you go all out like these guys do with their whole rig and the?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, so you go all out.
I don't know how
many?
I'm sure.
How many screens do you have?
I have one, but it's the white one.
The 49
Yeah,
inch,
49.
Samsung.
Oh, he's like.
Oh, I know it.
Okay,
But
Oh,
you
dude.
know. What's your iRating?
Well, I got 2 accounts. So I my original account, I got up to like a 7800, and then I quit
An oval.
on
Oval
oval.
racing,
Sorry,
yeah.
yes.
Oval
My
license.
road racing's not very good.
Okay.
Yeah. And then my second account that I started just about a year and a half ago, I'm up to like 4,000 or so.
Not bad. Yeah.
I'm not good on the road courses
No.
unless I'm in a way underpowered car like a Skippy or the Formula
Okay.
V or
Yeah.
something like that. Those are fun.
Formula V is fun.
It is fun.
Super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that you think that that's a good tool. I've tried to preach that for years. When I was going to go race at Road Atlanta, I was going to test Road Atlanta. I'd never been there. So Jimmy is testing his cup car, and he's there for 2 days, but he's not going to be able to make the second day. He's got something serious happening that's important he needs to be at, and they called me, and they said, hey, can you come run the second day? And I'm like, I've never run the track. I don't know. And I'm so nervous. He's the champ, right? And matter of fact, like they literally had just won the championship the year before. So I'm thinking, damn, I got to go drive the champ's car for a day. And I ran on iRacing all day the day before. And, man, when I got there, it was like I knew exactly where all the shifts were. I was right up to speed, like really right up to speed. And they were like, man, you've never been here? It's bull crap. You've been here. I'm like, never been here. Ran on iRacing for 2 days, and that's what you get. Because if I hadn't
crazy.
used iRacing, I'd have spent the whole first half of the day up till lunch figuring the track out. Right?
I'm sure.
So you used iRacing a lot. A ton.
A lot. I think for the last race at Long Beach, a street course for this year.
Yeah.
Never been there.
To win the championship.
Yeah, and it's like the most important race of my life.
Right.
And I just had one day at the HPD Sim. I need like as many laps as possible. I think I did driving like 17, 18 hours driving,
On
which
iRacing.
is like on track. Yeah.
Just
17,
laps.
18 hours.
You
Just
man,
laps.
like,
Well,
test-
I did some races,
races,
yeah,
yeah.
with different cars as well. It's not like only IndyCar. I just want to know the track.
Did you run in the series last year during COVID?
Of course.
Online?
Yeah.
So we were in the race
And these-
together at
yeah.
Michigan?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were. Yeah.
Hey!
Yeah.
I raced against him.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't remember you wrecked him.
What? I did?
No,
No,
I'm
but you
kidding.
finished
Mike,
third, right?
God,
You
why
finished
would you do
third.
Luckily, yeah. I didn't even listen.
Yeah, I remember. You were there just watching us play hard, and then suddenly he just passed us in the last
Listen,
couple of
is that
laps
what
and
happened?
finished third. Yeah.
We're out there.
He knew how to race.
We're testing. I didn't. So we're testing, and I'm like, I'm okay. You know, I don't know how to. There's some things that you do either with the steering bias or the brakes, and I wasn't sure what was the best thing to have, because in the oval you want to change your steer ratio and things like that to be a little quicker on long runs and stuff. But I was kind of keeping up in the testing we were having, but when the race started, there was a big bad crash on the very first start, and I bumped somebody, but I didn't know if I hurt my car. And so we start racing, and I got no speed, and everybody's driving away. And I'm like, man, I am slow. This is embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. And then I come down pit road and got my tires. The race keeps going and going, and I don't know what happened, but I ended up finishing third just on fuel mileage.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
right.
it was a fuel mileage
Yeah,
race.
that's
I
right.
remember.
Everybody had to pit.
Yeah.
And it saved me. And I looked like I knew what I was doing. I'm like, oh, yeah, plan that out. That was my plan. Yeah. Because
That's
I
right.
was so slow. I couldn't figure it out. I was like, why am I so slow? But, yeah, I got lucky.
Did you ever get that answered, by the way? Like,
I think I hurt my car
Oh, I
because we
gotcha.
had a big
That's right.
crash at the start, but
That's
I
right.
didn't want to
Yeah,
use
I'm
my
sure.
reset.
As soon as you have a small hit.
I didn't want to use my reset, so I was saving it. And there was no other caution.
Big
to
cautions,
do it.
yeah, I remember.
But that was so cool, man. You know what was funny is listening to all like Will Power and all the drivers
It's
Whiny.
the best thing. It's
Whiny.
the best thing.
I couldn't-
call each other wankers and all that?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was
Will
insane.
Power doesn't hold back.
Oh yeah, he was the guy. Like I was turning it off. Turning it on all the time just to hear him.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah.
There was even a time, I think, after the race, and you guys had just crossed the finish line, that you had said something that I don't know that you intended to be for the entire.
Public. I said something like, "I can't believe these guys are raising hell at each other like they were," or something.
or maybe I think you actually said, "I can't believe they didn't pit," or something about the fuel mileage, and then Will. Because now it's public, Will kind of chirp back at you about something, and we're like,
did he?
"What?"
No way.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
does that
don't
surprise you?
remember.
Will
Yeah,
felt
no.
like that the race control gifted the win.
That's right.
Like there should have been a yellow that wasn't a
Obviously.
yellow.
That's what it was.
I don't remember what it was, but I was. So I wanted to ask you about that. One of the things that we don't have in the Cup Series is international personalities. So, even though a guy might be from California or upstate in the Northeast, the culture's not quite drastically different. We all kind of know how to race each other, and there's not a big difference in what a block is or racing etiquette, give and take, things like that, right? That you kind of learn racing through the years. When you race in the IndyCar Series, all of you guys are from different parts of the globe, right? You raced in Japan, Go-Karts in Europe. All these other guys have such different upbringings in motorsports, right? And they learn different racing etiquette, and sometimes
Yeah, the rules for us are like all different.
all
and
over
then,
the place.
Yeah, we
Right.
argue all the time.
you'll have a
Yeah.
disagreement on the track
All
and
the
get out and
time.
go, no,
Yeah.
that's not okay what you did.
Yeah.
And the other guy's like, yeah, I've been doing that all my life. That's how
Yeah.
you race. That to me is really the most interesting thing about IndyCar is just the variety
Yeah.
of personalities and how all these worlds come together. And you really don't understand that until you kind of plug into the series. How do you navigate that? You got a guy like Will Power, strong personality, Australian, doesn't take don't take no crap. There's a couple of guys like that in the series, and there's just different types of personalities all throughout the series. How do you navigate that, right?
I don't know. I'm a really chill person. Like I don't get in trouble with when they start arguing. Like, oh no, this is good, this is not good.
Right.
Even if I have an opinion, I just keep it to myself. I don't know why. I always been that
Probably for
way.
the best.
But yeah, I don't know. I remember Laguna Seca this year. Grosjean and Jimmy like bumping Jimmy out. I don't know if you saw it or not, but Jimmy was.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
entering the corkscrew.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I was P2. Jimmy was a lap down, but was behind me, and he had to protect me a little bit, just not much, but a little bit. So he was not making it easy for Grosjean, who was catching me for third, and then Grosjean just smashed him. And obviously, I think it was a bit on the edge, but yeah, there's always some argues during the races.
I think that's the most interesting thing for me about that. That's one thing that IndyCar can provide a fan that NASCAR really can't, is the different personalities and the global personalities, from all over the world coming together to compete. I just find that kind of fascinating how they exist in one space, because we see while we're racing that little insignificant online race one time how they clash.
Oh man, it changed our whole perspective of
It
IndyCar
made me,
racing.
it made me really like it a lot.
We always thought that they were all we hear is how accepting the IndyCar guys are, and how NASCAR is not as as open and as the IndyCar guys are. Like that's what we hear, and we just assume that everybody's nice. And we get in that race, and they're like yelling at each other and just snapping back, and we were like, wow, these guys are kind of like, they're more animalistic than we are. This is kind of cool.
I did find that pretty interesting because we'll push each other, physically and verbally. But I don't know that
you
I
get
would
more into fights than us.
I think I wouldn't have that same confidence to do that in a series of so many different cultures, right? Because you don't know just how far your guy's willing to take something. Because
you might know kung fu.
Yeah, you never know who you're fighting with. Yeah, I know, but I don't know. I think NASCAR is more like somebody can punch you in the face in NASCAR, not in IndyCar.
No?
I know nobody's gonna punch me because otherwise they're not gonna do the next race or something. I'm sure something bad's gonna happen, but in NASCAR, I don't know. Like yesterday, Elliott and Harvick.
What'd you think about that? You know, you don't have to pick a side, but you know, what do you?
I think it was great for the fans, right?
Sure was.
But you were a fan, so you were loving
I was
it.
a fan. Yeah, I was loving it, but at the same time, I wanted the 9 to make it to the playoffs because I thought it was not fair for him not to miss it. But how it ended, I think it was great for everybody. Yeah.
So, what was, you know, let's go back 5-10 years ago. What was your opinion of stock car racing?
It's very different to what I'm used to, and I think now you're incorporating more road courses, which makes me feel more like what I know, but not before. Before. It's like it's a completely different thing, and still now in IndyCar, I think this year we did all road courses. We did all podiums and 1/4, but on the ovals we didn't do that great. So I'm still getting into. So I don't know. I think
having seen it yesterday, having been there and watched it, I know it was at a road course, but
yeah, that's a road course, so it's a bit different. But I loved it yesterday. Yeah, it's great. The show is great.
That was a wild show.
It was amazing.
I was actually going to ask you that. I wanted to know, since you've been at all of the major road courses and just, I mean, you're talking about your first win at Nürburgring. I mean, what do you guys think of that roval? Like, does it seem a little gimmicky?
Different. Well, I think it's a hybrid between oval, street course, road course. So it's a mix of everything. But I think it can give you like good racing, right? Like we saw that. I think the chicanes are great for how the cars look there.
I call it Frankenstein.
Yeah, it is. It's like a mix of everything. But I think it's great. I never raced there, so I don't know if the racing is great or not. What is it great to race?
Well, I never raced on it myself either.
It was later than
that? Yeah. Okay. Driving around it, though, it flows. It's wider than it looks, and it flows better. It looks like it'd be cumbersome, quirky, like 90-degree corners, like how you enter when you come off of the front straightaway on the oval and dart into the infield. It looks weird, right? It doesn't look very good, but it actually flows pretty nice.
Okay. And I did on iRacing some, so that's good. But
Okay, so since we're asking you about a lot about tracks, I want to ask you about Indianapolis. Okay, especially considering the race you had this year at Indy. All right, last year would have been your first time running an Indy 500.
Yeah.
All right, how difficult was that getting adjusted to that track, and how did you start? How did you approach Indy?
I think Indy is the easiest oval race we have, just because we have 1 week of practice before.
Lots of time.
You can get used to the car alone with traffic. You can just get comfortable. I remember this year, the first 2 days, I couldn't get close to the cars, but then by the last day, I was like just confidence. I don't know where's the limit yet in the ovals.
As far as like as you get closer, losing downforce,
and how much you can. Yeah, how to prepare a pass.
Okay.
That's the thing. Because if you get it bad, you get too close, you lose your front, then the car who's following you is going to pass you.
Okay.
So
how is the best way to set up a pass? Say if I'm going to run the Indy 500 next year, like what would you tell me?
I would tell you to talk to Jimmy. I don't know. It's all about timing.
Yeah. You got to create the run and.
Yeah, so it all starts in turn 1 if you want to pass in turn 3, and it all starts in turn 3 if you want to overtake in turn 1. So it's all about timing, and it depends on the year and on the conditions. Because if the weather is really cold, you can be much closer because of the downforce. If it's too hot, you have to time it even more. So you would just have to time it and take your reference how much you can get into the cars.
Are you able to make the passes on the draft alone, or are you using tools inside the car as well?
With the draft alone, yeah, but then you set the tools to make the car turn a lot more when you're following somebody. Like you would put the rear bar really stiff and the weight jacker. But then when you're in front and you don't have anybody in front, you have to reset everything, otherwise you.
So you're always working on
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm just trying to wrap my head around all that. I mean, like
You have the weight jacker, and you have it depends on which on the car, but you have, I don't know, 5 positions to plus and minus, and then you have 6 positions or 5 positions on the bars, and yeah, every position on the oval you feel it, like every click.
You're controlling all that from the wheel.
The bars, no, you have 2 bars.
Levers.
The levers.
The levers, and then
but
the
it's all-
weight jacker you can control from the wheel. Yeah.
And do you control the fuel
What do you mean?
as far as what are
Maps.
the boosts? And
We
stuff?
have maps,
Yeah.
but it's normally the team
They
that
do
tell
it,
us the maps. Yeah.
But they're telling it to you, but you still the one have to.
Oh
do
yeah,
it.
yeah, obviously, yeah. They
So
tell
you
you.
got your hands full.
Yeah,
You got a lot going on in there.
yeah.
This is an interesting vantage point then to ask this question. I wasn't planning on this, but okay. So with all of that in my mind, set up the last 10 laps of the Indy 500 this year, because you are out front. Here it is, you're contending, right? And you got Helio coming.
Well, this year it was my first time leading an oval race, so I was
Oh,
there
so
for
this
like
is
10,
the first time you're leading an oval race.
Yeah, 10 laps to go, Indy 500, and I said, man, how do I keep Helio behind me? Like, I don't know, what do I do? So I did what I saw on TV. I just started waving, going left to right, and I said, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, and it was working. So it was good. I knew I had a faster car than him that day, those final 10 laps. He had a better car at the beginning of the race, but my car at the end was the best. So I knew I was like, I could control it, but he knew how to set it up and how to make me lose, I don't know, 2 or 3 corners when he was passing me. So I started to learn, but then suddenly 3 laps to go, I was P1. I couldn't defend because he was just close, and you cannot do anything if he's side by side, like he's going to overtake you. And I said, okay, I'm going to overtake him in turn 3 because I knew my car was good there. And suddenly we got traffic. He got a draft. That's it. Game over.
That was it.
Yeah.
Goodness.
What a lesson, though. I mean, like, it did not occur to me when I'm watching that how little you know about ovals and how new you are to this. And now you're trying to hold off a guy that's won 1 billion of these things.
Yeah, suddenly I was P1 there. I was like, oh my God, what do I do now? Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
And do I have to save fuel or not? So I was asking the team, what do you want me to do? And they were like, no, do what you know what to do. And I was like, man, I don't know what to do. Like, what are you telling me? I don't know. That's the issue. So I wanted them to tell me, just stay P2 or be P1 or do
Right. Give you something.
Give me indications. But they were, no, just do what you know what to do. I was like, no. So, yeah, it was interesting.
In general, though, as you went through this season, your second year running ovals, how are you adapting to them, and what do you appreciate about them? And
I love it. I love it. I think it's great. Gives a lot of opportunities to all the drivers. I think for the driver to time the passes, because Indy is the one you time it most, but also at Gateway when we go there, Iowa, you have to time it. But the timing, I think your brain is thinking all the time with your tools, saving fuel, not saving fuel. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. It seems like a lot of guys, I don't know, I think I would struggle with trying to figure out how to get the car to handle it. I mean, do you guys struggle with balance as far as the car being tight and loose?
Yeah,
and,
always.
You know, at the ovals, what has that been like for you? You know, when you're as a road course guy, getting the car to change directions quickly is probably the most important thing, having lateral grip left and right and all that. But you work on things symmetrically, right? You know, it's at an oval, it's not quite the same.
On an oval, my issue is that I cannot help that much. Like, I cannot say, hey, I need this.
Yeah.
And on a road course, I know, hey, I need a stiffer rear spring for sure. Like, that's exactly what I need. On an oval, I don't know what I need at the moment, which I think it's also good because I don't have to think too much. I just tell the engineers, hey, I have an issue around here. So around this, I don't know which face of the corner. In ovals, it changes. So I don't know what I'm doing here, but the car, it's a bit tight or it's a bit loose, which we use understeer and oversteer, but yeah.
Do you look at a win out? Do you look forward to a win on the oval?
Yeah, 100%. That's
'cause it's
goal
such a
number
challenge.
1. Yeah, for me, it would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, to get it. just because I'm not an oval racer.
I know. I felt the same way about road courses. Like I didn't grow up aspiring to race on road courses, and then when when they're part of the series, to win at one is
That's what you wanted,
it's
right?
like magical.
Same thing for me.
So you win the championship. You had some time to think about this. Probably an unfair question, but do you understand what you've done?
Kind of, yeah. Well, it's getting into. But I think everything starts with Chip giving us the opportunity to drive the championship car, because they won last year with the number 9 with Scott Dixon. So he just gave me the number 10 to fight with him and for the championship. So I think it was a hard year because we had some issues and I had to still learn some tracks. But I wanted this so bad, and we made it happen.
How was there's been a lot said about Jimmy's involvement in the team and his help as far as when you would face adversity. Seems like you might go to him to get some support or advice on how to rebound, get your head back in the game. Is that the reality?
Yeah. So I had the opportunity, for people that doesn't know, this year to share teams with Scott Dixon, 6-time IndyCar champion.
That's insane.
Which is amazing for me. With Dario, which was the coach for me this year. Tony Kanaan as well. Marcus Ericsson, and then Jimmy Johnson. That it has nothing to do with single-seaters, but he's a 7-time Cup champion, which for me, somebody that is a champion is wired differently, and the way he works or the way he thinks, it's a champion, right?
Where has he helped you? Where has him being a champion, a 7-time champion in NASCAR, actually benefited you?
Work ethic, I think. He doesn't stop. So if he was not stopping and he already won 7 and I didn't win anything, why should I work less than him? And how to approach the end of the championship when it was like getting real to fight for it.
Yeah.
He just told me some stuff. He called me and he gave me some advice that he got from his father when he was fighting for the. Yeah. So for me, it's amazing.
So that's like the first time I've ever heard that. Jimmy's racing the Cup Series with me forever. Won all these things. We have seen all the layers. We've dug into him and tried to learn everything we could about Jimmy, but I've never heard anything about his dad giving him advice and him being able to pass that advice on to any other driver, you being this case, and it being a help. And I read some articles where you said he gave you some tips and you wouldn't even tell what those tips were. But it's probably something that he's extremely proud of. Knowing Jimmy, that he was able to take some things that he's learned and you apply them, right?
Yeah, I did. I obviously, because he told me to myself on the phone, I'm not gonna say, but it was not something like, "Hey, Alex, you need to do this." No, it was more like how to approach it mentally. That it was easy, but it was like exactly what I needed to hear, and it worked. It worked. Like it's the way.
You would have needed to be mentally tough into that last race, because, if I'm thinking back to how it unfolded, first of all, you were kind of in a dust-up in that hairpin tour. I'm talking about Long Beach, right?
Yep.
Palou was in it.
Yeah.
All of the contenders are like right here in this hairpin turn, and you could have sustained. In fact, I don't know, did you sustain damage in that? And that would have been early on.
There was no damage. It was the first lap. Yeah, there was no damage, but we were on the air.
Yeah, like, somebody goes airborne.
God. Yeah.
So that had to be like, I can't even imagine if I'm you trying to go for a championship and that happens that early in the race. The mind games that must play.
No, it's fine, because the Indy cars are tough, and I knew it was not a hard hit, and we had a good cushion of points as well. So I needed to finish top 12, I think, to win the championship, not knowing what the others finished. So I was quite calm, to be honest, on that race. Yeah, that moment was a bit of nerve-wracking. Like I was like, oh no, oh my God, don't break my car. But when I saw it was fine on that straight, the next straight, I was calm.
When he falls out of the race, I don't remember what issue he had, something mechanical, but he fell out. Do you like to be told
No, because Newgarden, who was fighting as well, was P1 at that moment. So
Oh, that's right.
yeah, so I had to still. I still had one contender.
So yeah, but as a driver, I'm just kind of knowing your driver. Like I know how he was. Do you want to know what everybody, or do you just want to focus on your race and hear the same thing you hear every week? It's just a normal
race with bigger outcome, and you need to take it the same way you take others. Otherwise, something can go really bad.
Yeah.
If I took it, let's say championship thinking way, and something goes wrong, I would always all my life be thinking, why did I take it that way instead of a normal race? So yeah, I just wanted to do the best we could on that race, and that's what we did. Like I started P10 because we had some issues on qualifying, but we made ourselves into P4 at the end on a street course, which is not easy. Normally it's super hard to overtake.
Yeah.
So
well, what's next? You're champion in the IndyCar Series. That was your dream, to make it to IndyCar, and you are already a champion. You're 24 years old, so obviously, I'm sure you still have the Indy 500 circled.
Yeah.
That's an unchecked box.
that would be a good first race to win on an oval, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd probably be pretty good.
That would be a pretty good one. It's not going to be easy to get, but.
Do you look at, IMSA as far as like 24-hour races, things like that? Jimmy's done a couple of those things as he got later in his career. I think even my dad wanted to try to do some of those things outside of his little NASCAR bubble. Do you start thinking about those things now that you're in a position, 2-3 years ago, you're still clawing to get this opportunity in IndyCar? Well, you're a champion now with one of the best teams in the series. Are you allowing yourself to think about, man, if this opportunity comes, I'd love to try this,
Yeah, at the moment, yeah. I like to do some endurance races just because it's the thing I'm used to and the thing I would love, and I think it would help me to prepare for IndyCar. But I think I have still lots of business to finish here in IndyCar and try and finish it. So everything that I can do together with IndyCar, I would do. I like to drive. I don't think we have enough races. So.
Are you an IndyCar lifer? Are you is that where you want to spend your career?
Yeah, who knows? If I can keep winning like Scott did, why not?
Yeah.
I just assumed you were at the NASCAR race this past weekend, just seeing what the prospects
were.
I
was asking for contracts, of course. You think I'm here for a podcast? I know you have some cars there.
That's hilarious.
You wanted to see if there's any openings here, right?
Well, yeah, there's some good cars there. And
there's some good cars.
You have lots of road courses next year.
Do.
Maybe you need...
Even going to run Portland.
Oh, do you?
Yes, we are.
Xfinity Series.
There?
Yes.
You're not going to fit.
Is it that bad?
Super tight.
Yeah.
Portland?
Really?
We're
going to
Xfinity Series is running Portland.
Wow. That's tight. It's a good course, but I think it's a bit too tight, but it's going to be a good show for sure. Yeah.
Well, they'll find ways around it one way or another, whether it's on the asphalt or through the grass.
I'm sure it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's going to be, there's some good overtaking spots for sure.
What are you doing the rest of your trip in town here?
So I'm leaving today. Yeah,
Where are you going?
Today, back home in Indy.
Yep.
Because we have a tire test on Thursday, at Mid Ohio. So yeah, we'll test that with IndyCar. We have still some meetings to do with HPD and with the team, and then I'll go back home in Spain.
All right.
For a couple of weeks.
Where do you want to live? Like, where do y'all talk about like spending?
At the moment, we're good in Indy.
You've certainly not lived everywhere you've wanted to live. You've only probably.
I don't know. We didn't really talk too much about it. I don't know. Well, maybe she wants something sunny or.
If y'all need a place in Alabama, I know. Yeah, I mean it's
Where does all your teammates live? I know Jimmy's kind of at.
Jimmy's all around.
Yeah.
Scott is in Indy. TK is in Indy. Marcus is in Indy.
Yeah. So Indy is.
I mean, if you're, I guess same as NASCAR, almost everybody lives here, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
I got you.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, Alex, we're so lucky to have you here, and thrilled for your success in the IndyCar Series. What a pleasure for us to have the champion here and being able to talk to you. Love learning about your life and where you've been and
thank you.
Where you're headed, buddy. And you got some new fans here going to be pulling for you next year to get that Indy 500 win. So thank you, Alex.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alex Palou on the Dale Jr. Download.